In previous sessions and tutorials, I told you how we can set up our project, and we created one index.html for the loading page. So it contains two links for admin login, which is basically for teachers, and student login for the students. So let us see how we can show the student login page. So this is our student login page. Remember, this is JSP, so we can include some Java uh, classes, or we can say syntax also here. So how we can do that? So this is all about the CSS, and I'm using Bootstrap, Ajax.js for all these things. And this is style because I don't want to create another file for style CSS. So I embedded here only. So this is all about. But remember, what is this? If our get parameter is null, like if we are not putting something on username or password, it should enter username and password first. That's all the message things here. And request.get parameter is getting parameter from that part. Similarly, again, this is for if our validation is successful, it will show the message in the green part. So this is very important part, form actions, which is using validate student as an action. So what is this first? OES.controller. As I told you, we are going to create one sub package inside source package, which contains another sub package controller, which contains validate student. So controller is basically controlling all the parts. So I am dividing my for my convenience all the Java codes, Java servlet codes. So this is user ID field which takes username, and this is password which takes password. If I click exit, it will go to the first page, and if I click submit, it should go to the that part and it validate that part. So similarly for the admin page, as I told you, here I am going to use method validate admin. So let us see how we can create validate student part. So for the validate student, you just need to create one sub package inside OES and controller, and you can create one Java servlet. So I am importing all libraries here. Then I am importing all packages. So here I'm going to use database package. What is database package? So it will contain all the database fetching part here, and model contains all the login logic and everything. So what is validate student? It's actually overriding. I'm using overriding method here. So validate student will use this validate student as a super method, and using the do post method, I'm going to fetch that uname and pass name, and for this I'm going to create students DO, which is basically checking that part. I'm using boolean part here. So this is just for the what we can say controlling part of that JSP. If our login session is correct, it should go to the student instruction JSP. Further, I'm going to create one student instruction in JSP file, because if you know, like you on some online portal and you just click that on the login, it should go the instruction page or something like that. It should be needed. If not, go to that part plus message with message like invalid user. As I told you, this message should be printed there. So this is all about the validate student. Let me save this. Okay. So I'm overriding method. Remember that you can override this method with serial version UID, and these all things are same and default, as I told you. No need to change these things, but you can change your own things here and your own logic. I am using this logic. So this is all about validate student. Same as validate admin. I am mentioning here all the libraries because you can use star, but I want to specify each and every library here. So I use this. Then which extends to HTTP servlet, similar method. It takes uname from admin login JSP, uname and pass. This is uname and pass. It will check for that admin. It should go to the admin panel if username is correct, and if not, it should be go to the that same page admin login. So remember, in servlet you have to use forward method. Here you have to use response dot send direct. If not, you are going to use again send direct to that particular part. So no need to include that forward and include method. no need to use that part. You can use only one method, send direct part here. So again, this is as a HTTP session is handled as in JSP or Java, I can told you. So in do post, you have to use HTTP session. No need to use HTTP servlet and all these things. I'm using HTTP servlet to fetch data, but for the forwarding part, you need to use this with attribute also. Your attribute should be same because I am going to print attribute there, like welcome student or welcome that admin part. So this is all about this. So let us see how we can create one database fetching part and everything. So before database fetching part, I need to mention the connection, or we can say we need to create connection. I am using here another dedicated Java file for the connection. But why? Why I'm using this? So in each and every connection, like for admin, then students, then questions, then instructions, all these are stored in the database. So for all these purpose, storing the questions and everything, again and again, I'm going to create a connection. So if I use methods and I implement some object-oriented logic here, I can easily create this method. So let us see. First create os.db file here. Why I'm specifying this package? Because I am going to use as a sub packages method here. So os.db for storing the databases file. So this is another my provider. I am specifying that provider. This is provider. So this is for SQL. You can always use this actually. No need to specify everything. Just put this. It will ask for everything, and I'm including the libraries. This is very simple thing. Then provider as a class, static connection basically, because you know for that purpose you need to create connection. Get Oracle connection basically. Then connection, it should be null. URL I can told you it should be null, or you can directly put connection here also. No need do that all things. You can put connection and is equal to this, but I am creating this part again. Try, always handle the SQL connections and with inside the try only, or you can use throws also here, but I am using try catch as an exception exception catching part. This is for Oracle database. Then this is system, my username for that Oracle database, password for passing. Then this is all for get connection, user.pass. If this is correct, it will show that connection is successful inside this. If not, it will provide some error or exception inside this out part, or we can say our command prompt. So I am creating one dedicated, I have created already this part for connection. So this is our provider, is our dedicated connection Java file for build a connection. So let us see how we can create admins Java file. So inside the admins Java, what I am doing is I am fetching all from that database, or we can say we are providing it into the database and I am returning it. So this is very simple part which I already created. It's very easy, which is basically pre-count. So this is very basic thing, and username and password, and I'm putting the get username string username, get password, set password as our primary things here. So I'm just using that variable and I'm assigning to another variable. So this is very easy. Students dot Java is also same, which is using this database, but it's very easy. I'm just doing same stuff as an admin. I'm putting in this and I'm returning that part, and I'm storing in dedicated thing like set string name and all these things. So this will be easy. Same for the question part. For the question, get question is for the get question, set question is to set the question, like get the question for user side, but or we can say student side, but set question is for the admin side or teacher side. Get A means for option A, then set A for that purpose, get B for student, set B for another student, get C, set C, get D. I'm currently setting the 4 options only, get answer and set answer. That's it. Set answer is for setting that answer, or get answer for admin part. Then instructions.java. So This is again same, set instruction, get instruction. So DB contains all the files which just creating the connection part. So this is all about this. Now let us see how we can create one thing here, which is basically admin DAO and student DAO. So I told you about that how we can create admin Java file, and remember why I am using this admin here. So if you see db.admins where it is used, I'm using this new admins and I'm set username and I'm setting the password. So when I saved, so I will put here creating object. So this is setting the password. So why I am using this? Like I'm fetching from one, I'm setting it to the another variable and I'm using this. So it is very common method in Java. If I am using the same variable, it will change its value again and again. Like if I put admin username as admin and password is admin, and I want to change that part, but I want to store that admin, I want to add it or append it in the admins. So it will help if I am not using this part, like I am fetching from one variable, from I am fetching data from user side and I am storing it to the same variable and I am using same variable again and again. Then there can be an anomaly, or we can say there can be some security issue also. Like you can easily find the answer of our questions or anything. So putting it to the another file, it will create some dedicated file for that purpose. So I'm setting this username and set password method, and I'm using that validate admin, so I'm using this part, and it will send to the admin panel. We will create admin panel for that purpose. In further videos I'm going to tell how we can develop a JSP files only, because we are mostly done with our Java files required. I think 2 to 3 only remaining for that purposes. And in a controller we required to create some logout login, logout for admin, logout for student, then question insert method, student insert method also, and some instruction insert methods also. So that's it. But mostly we are done with our Java files, so we are now only focused with our JSP files only. So this is all about how we can create. So let us see how we can create student DAO method. Here I am going to use method doValidate, which is basically boolean, which tells us status as false or true. So what it will be do? It will checking for the SQL connection, then DB provider as I told you, and student part. So it will help me to check everything, and I am passing inline object, you can say, for that, or inline thing. So this is basically constructor, not this. So I'm going to use this again. As I told you, SD get username from student method and get password from that student method. As I let us see how we can. I told you here. Okay, this is get username and get password method. So I'm using this. So from provider dot get Oracle connection, which is basically our provider dot Java file only. So this will use this again, get Oracle connection. Then no need to require to create another thing, like as I am using this db.provider, which is basically specific file I'm using here. I'm not mentioning only db here. So I can use this provider.get connection here, which is basically fully defined name, or we can say. Then I'm using this string to fetch that part. I will again print here like SQL here. So this is SQL query for the user ID and password. So in further things, I'm going to create tables in the database. I will tell you which queries you have to use, and this is all for the setting the name. If sd.setName, which is basically we are setting name here, and our string is equal in the name basically, so it will return a true. If not, else false, it will carry the statement. Similarly for the insert student, I'm creating another thing because I don't want to create one another file to insert students and everything. So I just created, then get all records from the array list, because from the student table I want to check for all student list. I can use array list here. similar thing you can use. And remember, always first time clear that and again printing that, because there may be some two names also inside that part. So I'm using this. And delete records, I'm adding the delete record method also here, and get student name method also here. Then do update new record, because I want to update new record also. So this is all the methods. You can minimize methods here also. So this will be the lengthy part. You can check for this. It's very easy, but it takes too much time, because I created in only one single method, which is basically student DAO. So this is all about student DAO. In further parts, I'm going to create, you can create how you can create admin part, then inserting part and everything.